Episode 8 is right around the corner, and as someone who has thought critically and analyzed the themes of this show for hundreds of hours at this point, there is a core theme that we don't talk enough about as a community, and I want to bring it up because I have a feeling that episodes 8 and 9 will be shocking to a large part of this community who have not thought critically about this theme. The theme is this, that not everything is as it seems, and even so, that's okay. Let me explain with some examples because this theme is so important that after the show introduces the concept to us, this is the next immediate thing that it tries to teach us. We learn it through Gummigoo's character in episode 2. Gummigoo is a gator who has a complex life and backstory. In his world, him and his 2 gator bros created a plan to go steal syrup from a malicious queen who is siphoning off all of the maple syrup to feed her people and are leaving the outer rim behind in an effort to save his mother's life, the one who taught him everything he knows.
You think your mum's gonna pull through if we get all this back to the village?
I'm sure she will. This much syrup would save hundreds of people.
We won't know for sure until we get back to the village. She's a fighter, though. She taught me everything I know.
And after they successfully complete this heist against a gigantic candy kingdom, they're being pursued by the people that the queen has sent to stop them. We know them as the cast of the Amazing Digital Circus, who are going on a silly little adventure that Caine sent them on. And ooh, they've got this awesome battle rig that they're gonna go fight these bandits, yeah!
So we figured the best way to go head to head with them is to give you a war rig of your own.
Ooh, violence.
What time period is this supposed to be again?
But to Gummigoo, this is real. This is his life. This is his mother who is dying. So obviously he's going to be shocked when he sees his character model standing there, T-posing, and one of the castle mercenaries that is trying to chase him down does not appear with everybody else that he knows. So when Pomni casually says, well, it's because we're not NPCs, I guess.
Why aren't you or any of your crew up here?
I'm not sure. Because we're not, NPCs?
NPCs, what are you on about?
We see what that does to him. And so his whole world turns upside down as he realizes that he's just an obstacle for these people to destroy. But Pomni is not there to destroy him. While to her, he might not be real, she sees the humanity in Gummigoo and attempts to reach out to him and make him feel better. And she explains to him that even in her world, feeling like you're nothing is normal.
I think I know the feeling. Well, maybe not the exact feeling, but feeling like you're nothing is kind of normal. I mean, people even feel like that in the world I came from.
And that she might not understand what he's going through exactly, but that he is just as real to her as she is to the digital circus. And that she could use a friend.
I'm sure you wouldn't belong any less than me. And I could use a friend.
Obviously, this is very confusing to somebody whose life just got turned upside down. But faced with 2 choices, give in to existential dread and nothing matters, or give in to this person who wants to be his friend and is giving him a new opportunity, he makes the choice to go with Pomni. And so Gummigoo finds out not everything is as it seems. His life is different. And still, it doesn't matter. Pomni treats him with respect. Pomni cares about him. Pomni says he can be just like them. And think about episode 7. When the cast is about to leave the circus, Gangle gets worried that things won't be the same because they've only ever known each other like this.
Are we still gonna be friends when we're out there?
Why wouldn't we be?
It's just gonna be strange. I've only known you like this. Will it be the same when it's real?
And Zooble reminds her that even though they're gonna leave the circus, the experiences that they've had together are still real.
It always was real. Everything we felt, everything we've done, everything we are.
And so Gangle worries about this same theme. Not everything is as it seems. And Zooble says, even so, it's okay. Everything was still real. And think about Jax's entire character arc. Pomni teaches him that even if he doesn't believe that everybody in the cast is real and he just thinks of them as these archetypes, he can't treat them that way. He has to be kind. He can't treat them inhuman.
No, none of this is real, right?
Oh, what do you mean? Like the circus?
The game today is literally to shoot each other. So what's the point in taking this moral high ground?
Well, they're my friends. I don't really want to hurt them. Is this why you didn't show up to KAUFMO's funeral?
I don't show up to any funerals.
Yeah, I bet you don't. Because you're scared. You're scared you'll actually show a human emotion.
I'm scared I'll be bored to tears.
Have you ever thought that this might be what causes people to abstract in the first place?
What's wrong with you?
Why didn't you fight back?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And the tenacity that Pomni shows in that scene forces him to recognize that.
There's nothing more to me. So please, just stop looking.
And so why is this theme important? Why am I bringing it up before episodes 8 and 9? I think everybody has their own opinions about what the Amazing Digital Circus is. We've been taught that this is a silly little computer game from the 90s and there are 6 humans trapped and have memories about how they got in here in the first place. And I'm concerned that a large part of this community believes that. Just thinks about it at face value, what we've been told, and doesn't think about the fact that this theme keeps coming back over and over and over again. And while I have my own theories about what might happen based off of what I have learned about the circus in this time, that's not really my main concern. My main concern is that this show will end in a way that is extremely different than what everybody else thinks about how it should end in their heads. I actually think that we as a community do a big disservice to this show's creator and Glitch, the production studio, when we only think about it at the surface level and we reject anything else that comes out of it. Now, I do agree that the community also has a problem with the theories that they present, but it's not because of the theories. I think it's because a lot of the theories that the community believes in are not grounded in the themes of the show or what the show has tried to teach us. And I want to use an example right now of something that you might believe very firmly, but that Gooseworx herself has never said, nor has the show ever taught us. On Tumblr, someone asks, what is a message that you want people to take away from the Amazing Digital Circus? Gooseworx replies that there is meaning to be found in a stagnant life. And because of the way that this community has interpreted this message, you might have a firm belief that the purpose of this show is to explain that there is meaning to be found in a stagnant life. But notice that that is never said. The question does not ask, what is the final message of the show? The question does not ask, what is the only or main takeaway that you want people to get from the show? It only asks, what is a message that you want people to take away? One singular message. And Gooseworx replies with one singular message. Does that mean that that is the ending message of the show? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. And I think we need to remove that from our heads, that this is the only message that the show is trying to teach us. We have already seen a lot of examples of this message coming to fruition, that the characters in this show have found meaning in stagnant life because of all of the experiences that they have gone through together and have grown together as a result.
Every day I spend here is one nightmare after the next. I knew it would end up like this.
Things will be okay. You're very strong, Pomni. And I know you'll be able to get through this. Just hold on to me. We'll get through it together.
Are you kidding me? Hey, Gangle! I think the clock's broken.
Is it broken? Or are we the broken ones? I messed everything up, and now I don't think anybody wants to talk to me anymore.
I still like talking to you. Look, the new mask was a bust. So what? I'm sure we'll find something that works eventually.
I don't deserve a friend like you.
Well, you've got one. Now, come on over and hang out with the rest of us. Bring your art too. I always like seeing what you draw.
Almost every single one of these characters have had meaningful change in this stagnant life because of their connections and their human relationships that they're making with everyone else in this show. But again, that does not mean that the show will end with no escape just because of this one message. It's not something that the show has ever taught us. Has the show given us hopelessness, especially in episode 7, because of the fear of no escape? Yes, but the reason why I bring this up is again because of episode 7 and what people think of episode 7. Everybody has their own camps about how they think about episode 7, as it systematically proved theory by theory, and everyone thought, whoa, this is crazy, it's actually proving all of our theories. It then, at the end, rejected every theory. And in a way, it was technically a rebuke of all of these theories. I do think it was. And yet, in another way, I think it's a rebuke of the opposite. Think about how uncomfortable episode 7 made you. I know it made all of us uncomfortable. It made us feel awkward. It was paced funny. There were moments of overacting and very on the nose dialogue that just felt a little strange coming from everything that we knew about this show. But because we thought this was a rebuke on theorists, the majority of the community took the opposite stand and said this was just an adventure by Caine where he couldn't really read the room, but he was trying his best and that's it. But as somebody who has studied episode 7 very closely since it came out months ago, I will tell you right now that that feeling of uncomfortability, I will tell you right now that that feeling of uncomfortability that we all felt was created intentionally by Glitch. There's a concept in robotics and AI called the Uncanny Valley, where something that looks very close to what you would expect but isn't exactly what you expect makes you feel very, very strange. A lot of times it's used in human faces, in robots, and different things like that. I'm not going to go too deep into it right now, but just know that this concept exists. And I have seen the masterful way that Glitch has created that feeling in this episode. The idea is that it's so close that you cannot tell what's wrong, but you know something is wrong. But let me show you one example to make the point clear. Look at Zooble's head in this scene. Notice how the pointed part is on the side where Gangle is. But after Pomni finishes passing out the admin passes to all the other characters, what side is Gangle on?
Why do they look like that?
And I don't believe that Gangle did a lap around Zooble right after getting the admin pass, nor do I believe that Glitch messed this up on accident. It's one of the many things that this episode does to make us feel slightly uncomfortable without realizing why. And so no, I don't think the main takeaway from this episode will be that it was just a simple Caine adventure and there's nothing else to think about. And so what's really interesting about this episode is that by creating the Uncanny Valley feeling, it actually forces the community to defend this on the surface level while also making everybody feel extremely uncomfortable about it. And that's kind of the point of the episode. And unless you are prepared mentally to accept the fact that this show will not be a simple show as it explains itself on the surface, then you might get upset when you find out one of your favorite characters is not who you thought they were. And you might be tempted to think that those emotional moments that you really connected with don't mean anything anymore because this character was being manipulative or this character was lying or how am I supposed to trust this character anymore? And even if we find out that some or all of these memories that these characters have about their past lives end up being fake, just how Gummigoo's memories were so complex he just couldn't remember his mom's face. Just like how the cast can't remember their names. The story has always tried to teach us that nothing is as it seems, and still that doesn't matter. And I'm planning on making a video about the things that I think episode 7 did teach us and did not teach us, and what the different layers are there, because I think there are a lot of truths in that episode and some misdirection. But before I did that, I felt like it was really important to make this simple video talking about this theme because it comes up multiple times, and I can tell that episodes 8 and 9 are gonna really shake up the paradigm, and really wanted to make sure that we as a community are thinking critically about this theme because it's so important to the show. Oh, and I know I talked about this theme as a two-parter, but there's actually 3 parts to it. And I assume some of you out there were yelling at your screen because I missed the obvious third part of this theme, but I didn't want to talk about the third part yet because it's kind of depressing, but let's talk about it right now really fast before the video ends. The theme is that not everything is as it seems on the surface, and yet it doesn't matter, but the third part of the theme is, and still you cannot escape reality. In the case of Gummigoo, Pomni really wanted to have a friend and bring him back and make him feel all special, but he could not escape the reality that he was an NPC to them and could not live in the circus under Caine's rule. That gator was Gummy gone.
Oh, looks like one of these guys made it through.
Wait, what?
In the case of Gangle and Zooble might have been super optimistic as they're holding hands walking towards their exit, finally about to escape, but the reality is it was a Caine adventure, and how do you think Zooble's gonna feel about that? And in the case of Jax, no matter how he felt about the other characters and he was forced to recognize that they're real, he cannot escape the reality that he treated them poorly and they don't like him anymore. Pomni might care about him and try to make him feel good, but the other characters were very deeply hurt by Jax's actions, and Jax, faced with that reality, isolated himself to the point of near abstraction. And so I think episodes 8 and 9 are going to be a big lesson to the community about how not everything in the Amazing Digital Circus is as it seems, but that's okay. And still, we cannot escape the reality of whatever is going to happen after this moment. And so enjoy it while you can.